Andy Warhol, Pop Art by Stephanie Kusel. Andy Warhol was an American painter, printmaker, sculptor, illustrator, filmmaker, writer, and collector. After studying at the Carnegie Institute of Technology in Pittsburgh from 1945 to 1949, he moved to New York and began working as a commercial artist and illustrator for magazines and newspapers. By the 60s, Warhol established himself as a painter. Andy was a famous artist from the 60s throughout the 90s. He began by painting a series of pictures based on crude advertisements and of images from comic strips. His techniques gave his images a printed appearance, including stencils, stamps, and hand-cut silkscreens. He repeated the same mechanically produced image until it appeared to be drained of all meaning. To the right is an example of Andy Warhol's picture of John Lennon. As you can see, the picture appears multiple times in different colors. He was drawn to shocking tabloids as well. Andy Warhol was also one of the most significant figures of his time. His works exploring the connection between celebrity culture and artistic expression. American pop art insisted on a direct relationship between its use of the imagery of mass production and its adoption of modern technological procedures. Pop art is the involvement in popular culture and with the traditional aspirations of high art. The term pop art was first used by Lawrence Alloway in 1957. Pop art is designed to insert pop smoothly into the historical chain of contemporary art. Warhol stated people loved it because the subject matter was familiar. It looks like something they know and see every day. Pop artists are motivated by self-interest and exterior concerns. To the right is an image of Warhol standing in front of his picture called Campbell's Soup Cans, which was exhibited in 1962. Though Campbell's Soup Cans resembles the mass-produced printed advertisements by which Warhol was inspired, it is hand-painted while the fleur-de-lis pattern ringing each can's bottom edge is hand-stamped. In this work, he mimicked the repetition of advertising by carefully reproducing the same image across each individual canvas. He varied only the label on the front of each can, distinguishing them by their variety. Warhol said of Campbell's soup, "I used to drink it. I used to have the same lunch every day for 20 years. I guess, the same thing over and over again." A famous piece created by Warhol was the Marilyn diptych. The Marilyn diptych is an art piece that consists of multiple silkscreen paintings of her. Warhol's use of the silkscreen technique further flattens her face. He then removes the shadows that creates the three-dimensional volume. Another famous piece created by Warhol was the gold Marilyn Monroe. He painted the canvas gold and then silkscreened her face. As you can see, Warhol's most successful portraits were of the glamorous film stars like Marilyn Monroe. He continued to print works such as the Marilyn Portfolio of 10 screen prints published in 1967. Later on, in 1965, Warhol announced his retirement from painting in order to focus on films. He then became more involved in other media. In the 70s, he concentrated on commissioned portraits printed from enlargements of Polaroid photographs. These commercial works, such as Jang Lang's seen to the right, were seen by many as the mark of his artistic decline. Warhol's work regained much of its lost spirit in the 1980s. Today, Warhol is still one of the most famous artists. Many people around the world are inspired by his work. The museum today is packed daily with people who cherish his pieces. The museum was originally inaugurated in Pittsburgh of 1994, and today is still very famous. In conclusion, Warhol's name is associated with glamour, publicity, and making it big. Warhol made the most profound conceptual discoveries. He produced examples of pure art that appear to look like examples of pure reality. 2 decades after his death, Warhol is still the art world's leading man. When he was alive, it seemed like Andy Warhol was everywhere, but dying has done nothing to diminish his popularity.